boxers, center of the ring. Okay, gentlemen, received your instructions in the dressing room. Expect a clean bout out of both of you. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves now, go back to the corner, and we'll get going.
Richard Picosdi, our referee. Once again, 6 rounds here in these quarterfinal matchups as Tex and Razvan ready to go at it. Ed Fountain and Razvan Cojanu.
Well, maybe the one thing that Fountain has going for him, because there's not a real lot going for him, he's a shorter guy, less experienced. I mean, he's got no amateur fights. That is tough. But one thing that he does have, he's a southpaw. And he's supposed to be willing, aggressive. And he's going to have to be aggressive if he stays on the outside. With this Cojanu, who's much, much bigger, he's going to have problems. He's got to get inside.
Back. Step back.
There's Tex trying to get to the inside that time. Cojanu just took a step back.
Talk about a difference in size. You see it.
Yeah.
Talk about a difference in experience. My goodness, you should see it. Cojanu, 150 amateur fights. Fountain, 0. If Cojanu does not dominate, shame on him.
There was a left hand that time from Tex as he got to the inside.
Keep working, keep working.
All the fights for Tex, Mr. Fountain, all his fights in Missouri, you can build up a 10-0 record fairly easy. And you can change your name to Tex, I guess. Most of the fights for Cojanu on the West Coast. He says he loves fighting southpaws. Gonna find out whether or not he tells the truth or he lies. Because he's fighting a southpaw right now. He says that his right hand will do the work with the southpaw.
Cojanu trying to drive down with that right hand from that height.
You know, Cojanu is he's either some kind of a chef or a bit full of himself.
How so?
Or maybe just confident. Well, he said in the pre-fight report that we get that you will see my right hand, my right uppercut. Both are delicious. You will enjoy.
Do you think maybe there's something lost in translation there? The Romanian to Vegas to LA translation exchange there?
I think I lost my appetite.
I don't know if delicious is necessarily the right adjective. There's that right hand that he's able to drive down.
Back. Step back clean.
We had interesting scoring in our first fight. It ended up in a draw breaker, so you should get on the Friday Night Fight Facebook page or go to fnfvote.com and score along with Teddy. See if you agree with Teddy or the ringside judges. Do that. Number 2, scheduled for 6. Remember, all the quarterfinal matchups tonight, 6 rounds. We're 1 fight already in the books. We saw Lenroy Thomas advance in a 7th round. Single overtime of boxing round draw breaker. Now our second tournament style fight of the night here. Round 2 between Ed Tex Fountain and Razvan Cojanu. Teddy, I got to admit, when this year's edition of Boxino was announced, I didn't know what we would be in store for putting heavyweights in the ring. Just finding 8 heavyweights alone, knowing the landscape of boxing right now, knowing what's out there, this is the division where there's a complete paucity of top-tier talent. There's just it's hard to find guys good enough to really make you feel great about what you're going to get.
Yeah, you're right. And it's a mixed bag, as you said very accurately. You've seen some guys that, you know, aren't in shape, some guys that aren't that great, and some guys that are a little bit better. But right now, Cojanu should be one of the favorites for me in this tournament, and he's not lighting the house on fire. I mean, if he doesn't dominate a guy with 0 amateur fights and who's about 4 feet shorter than him, you know what? I can't get excited about Cojanu no matter how much he says that you will find my right hand delicious. I'm not finding him delicious.
You're excited about Steve Vicosa, who
yes, I am.
a little later on.
That's a great story. Just a great story. I love the movie The Natural, and he's Roy Hobbs in this tournament. And again, Cojanu should dominate and should knock out Fountain if he's going anywhere. I mean, some of the danger points about Cojanu, even with his 150 amateur fights, even with his 12-1 record with 7 knockouts, I mean, he lost a fight that he later on avenged. You know, he avenged the loss to Morales, but Morales' record is 6-13-7. That's scary. You know, I mean, he lost a fight. I mean, he beat him again, but still, he lost to a guy 6-13-7. And he also won a split decision over a fight of 5-21-8.
That was wrong. You gotta keep it up.
It's a warning there from Pakosdi.
So I think you're seeing, even with the 150 amateur fights and the great size advantage, you're seeing some of the doubts and the kinks in the armor of Cojanu just when I mentioned those stats, that he could lose to a guy like that and win a majority decision to a guy like that. It's showing right here.
You know who else is interested in Razvan Cojanu? One of the greats of the...
He's having a tough time so far here in Boxino 2015.
We can count those 8 Romanian amateur titles, but don't go tell James Toney that he's only a 3-time titleist, as he was quick to correct Bernie in his own unique math. But still, you know, all-time, one of our favorite guys to cover, just because you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. One of the all-time characters of recent years of boxing. Lights out Toney involved in the career of Cojanu.
And a hell of a fighter.
Oh, it's great.
Could stand in front of you.
All the way up.
A little bit, look, not as great as Pernell Whitaker, but obviously a different weight class, but a little bit like him, where he could stay in front of you and make you miss, and then, you know, do what he had to do to you.
And that scale climbed north through the years, and that skill set served him well.
Well, can I say it again? I'm not impressed by Cojanu. I expect him to win. I've said that at the very top here, but I'm seeing some of the danger signs that I thought I might see when I looked at his record and saw that he won a split decision with a 5-21-8 fighter. And as I said, lost a fight to a 6-13-7 fighter, and then later avenged that loss. Cojanu doesn't really do anything to excite me. He's actually allowing Fountain to stay in this fight. I mean, look at this. He's allowing a shorter man with no amateur fights to get in on him and to have moments. I mean, give credit to Fountain. No amateur fights, but he's got a heart. He's got some grit.
Pushes him back just to create a little bit of space and get that right hand. There's that grit you talk about.
Yes, sir.
As he's reaching up to punch to the head of Cojanu.
I said in the, you know, Teddy's tips or whatever the heck we call that stuff at the top, that Fountain needed to find a way to get inside. He's finding that way. You know how, Joe? He's being allowed to get in by Cojanu. Cojanu doesn't use his height, doesn't know how to fight tall, doesn't keep you on the outside, doesn't make you go through a bad neighborhood. He lets you walk right in.
Are you referring to the Look Like a Champ brought to you by Just for Men?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. Is that what it's still called?
Look Like a Champ brought to you by Just for Men.
Oh.
Great insight pre-fight.
Thank you. Thanks for reminding me what it's called. See, this is where I think
They got to have a quicker break than that.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
honestly, that's dangerous for the fighter. It's like a half break.
it is a good round for Fountain, but when he gets inside, he's got to keep working. He's got to work inside. He can't let that happen. He can't let the taller man outwork him on the inside. We already know that Fountain's going to have a tough time when there's separation. But on the inside, Fountain has to really shine. Like that. Close round,
here.
close round.
Step back. Bill,
Teddy.
Yeah, that's always good. And it's always good when you have a guy who's aggressive, who's fan-friendly. And Selden is exactly that.
Hometown Long Island kid. lives just about a 30-minute drive away from the Paramount Theater, so you know he'll have a good crowd there. Chris Algieri had great crowds there on his way up before cashing some big paychecks.
Yes, he did.
All right, break. Stop punching. Step back. Totally, step back.
Always good to be here in upstate as well. We're at Turning Stone Casino, Verona, New York. Of course, the early foundation of both of our careers here in upstate New York. All Teddy's success at the Catskill Gym. Teddy's scorecard at the end of 3. First 2 rounds going to Cojanu. He's had a tougher 3rd round to score. You like the grit of that Tex Fountain there. Facebook sees it 2-1 as well for Cojanu.
Break. Stop punching. Let him up.
Short work on the inside, including a left hand that scored well for the Romanian, and now he snaps back his head with a right hand.
Cojanu has been on the floor before. Matter of fact, he's shown some heart. He's come off the floor to win, but that's good news for Fountain. That means if he has to put him on the floor,
All right, kick the punches
maybe
up,
he's got
man.
a
Get lower
chance.
now.
Fountain, again, give him credit. No amateur fights. Knows what's at stake. Came here in shape. Lightest weight in 2 years and 9 months. Cojanu, 5 pounds less than his last fight. So these guys are prepared for this tournament. At least physically. I just don't understand Cojanu having this unbelievable size advantage. I mean, if I'm gonna talk about buildings, it would be like 4 stories higher. There's a low blow there by Cojanu. Gonna get a warning for it.
I want you to kick those punches up. It's the second warning.
Second warning as
You okay? Do you need
because
time?
they admonished him.
Time. Tell me when you're ready. You got a few minutes, all right? Go to that corner. You want to go? Time in. Box.
But again, here's a guy, Cojanu, who's 4 stories taller than Fountain, and he's in close. Giving Fountain, he might win that way anyway. But he's given Fountain the one chance he needs, Joe, to be close where he can do that, where he can touch him. Because on the outside, Fountain can't touch him.
Good exchange to close out this round.
Bell.
Round both of our foundation of our careers were had here in upstate New York. Very, very good fight fans. They've had a lot to root for through the years. Great fighters have come from these areas.
Yeah, I love the fans up here. Look, I love all the boxing fans. I mean, without them, we don't get a chance to do what we do, which we're very blessed to be able to do this. And the fans, I never forget that the fans are the ones that allow us to do this by embracing us, by allowing us to come into their living rooms. Best fans in sports, boxing fans.
Turning Stone here, not far away from Syracuse, hosted a Boxino finals last year. And here they are with the quarterfinal round of the heavyweight tournament. You see Fountain just willing to work a little more. As Tex got to the inside and let his hands go, and now tried to split the guard with an uppercut and then come around the guard with a right hand.
See, one of the indictments, and yeah, I said it, indictments on Cojanu, who's winning the fight. But one of the indictments on him is that he's allowing, again, Fountain, who's much shorter, no amateur fights, but a tough kid, willing kid, but he's allowed him to stay in the fight because Cojanu is not dominating where he should be on the outside. I always talk about geography. The geography of this fight should be outside for Cojanu. Not there on the inside.
Stop punching.
See, that's where Fountain missed the moment. He got inside, he's shorter, he needs to work right now, and he's not. It's not like Cojanu is that hard to find either when Fountain does move his hands. I mean, he's a tall target. You know, he's like a tall building. When you got a tall building in front of you, you know what you do, Joe? You know what you do, Joe?
Well, I know you got a nice big target. Yeah, I'm with you. Nice big target.
You break windows. You break windows. And that's what Fountain should be doing when he's got this tall target, as you said, right in front of you. Like Cojanu, you should be breaking windows. Going upstairs, banging away, smashing everything in front of you. If Fountain did that, you know what? He'd still have a chance in this fight.
You know, I sometimes I don't know where your analogies are going, so I'm not going to guess if we're breaking windows or smashing awnings or taking out elevator shafts or destroying foundations or kicking up fire hydrants. I didn't know where that could go, but I knew it had something to do with the long range of that building, Teddy.
Yes, thank you. This round, I'm giving this round to Fountain. And again, that's the indictment for me on Cojanu, that he's allowing this late for Fountain still to win rounds.
We're going to give you a chance to listen into the corners here as we will have one to go. Buddy McGirt is in the corner of Razvan Cojanu.
Listen, what are you doing? Answer a question for me. Answer one question for me. What are you doing? Tell me, what are you doing? You blew that round. You blew that round. What are you waiting for? Come on, Razvan, what's the matter with you, man? Is there anything bothering you? So then why are you not punching? You gotta come back and take this round, son. I know. Listen, that right hand to the body, I want uppercuts, left hooks, okay? Because when you throw the right hand to the body, he's looking for a way out now. But listen, you gotta win this round, man.
Is Buddy McGirt within range of what you're saying, Teddy?
When he leaves on the ropes, why are you leaning
He's right
in
on the
him?
button. He's, you know, he's basically repeating exactly what
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. As if he can overhear you.
I agree with him 1,000%.
Okay, let's go, baby. You BS.
He's having a conversation, Buddy, right now that he shouldn't have to be having. If you look at the physical assets and experience advantages of Cojanu over Fountain, this conversation should not be taking place. Just the fact that that conversation is taking place is not good for tonight, but more importantly for the future of Cojanu. His right hand, by the way, Joe, is not delicious.
No, it is not. He was off the mark there.
Stop punching. Don't push his head down.
Sixth and final round to see who will advance here in this quarterfinal matchup. There's just more of that steady, gritty work from Tex, and he invited in a right hand, was able to duck underneath it. And he comes reaching in with that left.
Don't push, don't push.
Cojanu puts a warning not to push away to create space. Let's look at Teddy's scorecard after 5, 48-47. Cojanu 3 rounds to 2. Of course, you, the fan at home, can score along online on the Friday Night Fight Facebook page or fnfvote.com.
They have it the same as
3
me.
rounds to 2. They do.
Yeah, you know what? And you know what, you fans at home who are great? We're heading to a draw breaker.
You feel that? You got 90 seconds to figure
We're
it
heading
out.
to a draw breaker. If these judges have, you know, gotten their stuff together and gotten over whatever they were suffering from in that first fight, I think we're heading for a 7th round, because there's no doubt that Fountain is just out-wanting Cojanu right now. He's digging down deeper. With all the lackings he has, he's finding a way.
He just ate a right hand.
Although he did see the separation really hurts Fountain. When there's a little separation, Cojanu has room to punch. You know what he did? He made his own separation. He just kind of parried off, pushed off Fountain to get room. But Fountain's still winning this round. And he's winning even bigger now.
A couple punches that scored there, and Tex came right back.
Yeah, give credit to Tex or Fountain. Whoa, good uppercut there. Give him credit. He comes in with the least amount of experience against the fighter in this tournament with the most amount of experience, because Estrada had the most amount of experience amateur. At the corners refreshed them. See, they should be doing something right now. For me, it's important in the corner to give them a little water, rehydrate them a little bit, cool them down a little bit, make them take a deep breath, wash out their mouthpiece. You know,
you should be preparing and anticipating
exactly. And I don't see that.
Not acting like it's a normal fight.
Exactly.
It's over.
That's what should be getting done. I see it getting done a little more so in the corner of Fountain than I do in the corner of Cojanu.
This is also something that I remember was brought up years ago by you, that you pointed out in the first Arturo Gatti-Mickey Ward fight, that sometimes when a fighter believes a fight is over, you release.
That's very true.
And it's hard to then re-engage and shift into that high gear again. Teddy feels there's going to be a 7th round draw breaker. What do the fans think? Friday Night Fight fans believe that there will be a draw breaker as well. We started the night with a little overtime boxing. Will that trend continue here?
And
I think they need an accounting firm to figure it out based on the scene that's going on across the ring. But Sweet Baby Ray looks like he's ready to send it our way. So let's find out which way they saw it here and who will advance in Boxino's heavyweight division. Here is Sweet Baby Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge Winkins has the contest 58-56 for Cojanu. Overruled by judges Shrek and McKay, who have the bout 57-57. We will now see a 7th and deciding draw breaker round.
So we got a majority draw. Officially in the books, Cojanu and EdTech's Fountain will have a majority draw. But we need somebody to advance in this tournament. Bracket needs to be filled out. So Teddy, as you said, if you were the trainer, you'd get them ready for the next round. Here is the next round. 3 minutes to decide it. Another draw breaker.
And I think the advantage might go to the least experienced fighter here. Go to Fountain, because he had some momentum going. And with him into this last round, and you made a great point. You talked about like the Mickey Ward Arturo Gatti fight, that sometimes a guy thinks the fight's over, he releases. I think if that happened tonight here, Cojanu was the guy who might have released a little bit, because maybe he thought he had to fight in the bag a few rounds ago. And Fountain never thought he had to fight in the bag. He had to keep fighting and scratching and clawing to get back into this fight and to get to where he is now.
There's blood coming from somewhere. It's coming from the right eye of Cojanu. And it's pretty pronounced at this point.
You're good.
And it can obscure the vision in this last round a little bit and bother Cojanu in 1 round. Some good body work by Cojanu there.
Step back. Quick, step back.
Fountain needs to get moving those hands.
Cojanu's showing a little more spirited effort here. That blood is pretty substantial that's coming from the corner of that right eye as he tries to wipe it away.
And what's also substantial is the fact that Fountain's not taking advantage of that blood maybe obscuring the vision of Cojanu. Fountain's going to need to do what he did a couple rounds ago if he's going to win this fight. Rally. And he needs to do it right now. Almost looks like the size of Cojanu is starting to wear down.
No doubt about it. Just leaning on him, pushing him, getting those big punches in, having a much more spirited effort here.
He's pushing him. He's doing like George Foreman did to Joe Frazier. Just pushing him off. Manhandling him a little bit. Again, using his size, his physical size advantage this round to push around and wear down Fountain. Fountain's got 26 seconds to explode.
See the height differential there. Tallest fighter in the tournament. Shortest heavyweight we have in this Boxino tournament. Bracket needs to get filled in.
See what Cojanu's doing now?
Final round.
He knows he's got the lead, so he's smothering the fighter in front of him, not allowing him to come back.
How'd you see that 7th round, Teddy?
I saw Cojanu winning that last round.
And if the judges agree with you, then Cojanu advances. This is the top half of the bracket. Lenroy Thomas already advanced. He's waiting to find out who will get to the semifinal here. As they need to get after that cut that opened up above the right eye.
What is over?
See that? Watch the head clash. That's where the cut came from, as much as we can tell right there. Once again, you see the shorter man, both men falling in, and the shorter man being a little lower, so he's in better position, quite frankly, where he doesn't get cut. And Fountain, or I should say Cojanu, gets the damage. You know, this is really important here, Joe, because with a cut like that, I don't see how Cojanu can be ready for his next fight on April 10th. I just don't. I don't know.
That's a good point, Teddy.
I don't see him being ready. I mean, even if you're ready to be cleared by the doctor, you're not going to be able to get the proper sparring you need to be ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a 7th and deciding drawbreaker round, here are your score totals. All 3 judges have it the same in the 7th round for your winner by unanimous decision. And moving on to the semifinals of the Boxino Heavyweight Tournament, Razvan Cojanu.
So fill in the name of Razvan Cojanu. He wins the drawbreaker. 2 drawbreakers, 2 fights in. Thomas advances. We will see who he will meet. Cojanu advances. Vacosa, Teddy talked about